Today we'll be looking at the tools in the Firefly Standardized Assessment. To get started, go to the link that was provided by your teacher or administrator, select Insight Training, and Online Tools Training. The test we're going to be selecting today is Firefly, and you can see there are a lot of different options, but we're going to be starting with mathematics. Today I'm going to choose a 7th grade selection, but all of the mathematics tools will be the same regardless of the level. The first thing it's going to prompt me for is to recognize my computer. So you can see here that I have a Mac operating system. And when I accept that, it should tell me my name, and this is a training student, what test I'm taking, and what my school is. Then I will select continue. It should have your name listed at the top here and the test below. When I select the test, it will take me to the instructions. It's important that I read the instructions and go over them completely, recognizing all 3 circles so that every part of every question can be seen. As I read down through the questions, you will see it will list not only the types of questions that will be provided, the fact that the test itself has no time limit, and a lot of other really important information. As I get to the bottom, it will list all of the tools that are available for me when taking this assessment. Once I've reviewed all of these instructions, I can select Begin the Test, and it opens up a standardized math assessment. Here at the top, I have all of my tools that are available to me. I can also move between questions and select an overview of the questions to see what I have answered, what I have not answered, and move left and right between questions. On the right-hand side, you have a flag where you can select a question and then flag it for review later. This is a reminder for yourself at the end of the test to go back and look at this question again. Next to that, I have the option to pause my test if I need to step away for a drink or a restroom break. When I come back, I select resume, and it brings me right back to the question that I was working on. Now let's take a second and review all of the tools that are available during your testing window. The first one that I have is the pointer tool. This will help me select any of my answers that I may need, because if I move to other tools, you can see that pointer has changed, and I'll need to select the pointer again so that I can accurately select the correct answers. Next to the pointer tool, I have the crossout tool. When I select this, I can eliminate question choices that I know are incorrect and help me focus on the ones that could potentially be the right answer. If I want to remove these, I simply select them again, and it will remove the X. Next to the crossout feature is my highlighter tool that I mentioned earlier. When I select this, I want to choose Use Highlighter, and now I can click and drag across any portion of my text, and it will highlight an option. To save the highlight, just let go of your mouse, and the highlight will stay there. You can make this any shape that you would like, and when you are done, go back to Highlighter, and then click Clear All. This will remove any highlights that you've put. My next option is my notepad, which can be moved anywhere on the screen and can be resized so that I'm not covering up important portions of my question. In here, I can type notes for myself, such as steps in my math problem so that I can keep track of what I'm working on, or key details to help me figure out what I should do next. When I'm done with this tool, all I have to do is select the X in the top right-hand corner, and it goes away. The next tool in our toolbar is the magnification piece. Here, I can make all of my text larger so that it's easier to see. The first option, a 1.5x, will make my text full screen. This is usually preferable to most students. However, if I need it even larger because maybe I have an enhanced vision issue, I can go back and I can enlarge it up to 4 times, which is very zoomed in. To return to the original text, go back to Magnifier and select Off. That brings all of my text back to the original size. The next tool available is the Line tool, and this will allow me to drag a line below every section that I'm reading to help me stay focused on which portion of the text I'm currently on. To get rid of this, just go back to the top and select the Line tool again. Next to my Line tool, I have a calculator available in the math portion only. Here I have 2 choices, a basic calculator and a scientific calculator, depending on the needs of the student. Like the notepad, this can be moved or rearranged, and as I type in my equation, you can see that the answer arrives. I don't need to clear after every equation if I am still working on a longer math problem. If I'm moving between math problems, I will need to clear. To get rid of the calculator, simply select the X. If I look at the scientific calculator, you can see I have a lot more options for more complicated math. Simply select the calculator that works best for you, and again, when you're done, select the X to get rid of it. The next tool off to the right is a graphing option. Here I can put in ordered pairs, making sure that I include my parentheses, as I'm not able to click on the graph itself. As I enter my ordered pair, I start with the parentheses and then add in the locations of the 2 points. This places the dot onto my graph, and to help me organize it better, I have an option underneath to label that. So if I call this home, for example, you can see that it shows up off to the right here on my graph. To add a new point, I can either select below or I can choose the plus button above my initial point. Now when I add in my second ordered pair, that also arrives on the graph, and I can label it as needed. You can add as many points as you need, and you can see they're clearly labeled and easy to understand on your graph. To remove any points, I simply click the X next to the point. If I make a mistake, I can come up here to the top and use the back arrow to undo anything that I've recently done. When I'm done, I click the X to get rid of the graphing portion. The next section that we have is called the mask. When I select this, it creates a black box up here in the top that I can move, that I can stretch and reshape to cover whatever I might need to help me focus. You can see as I move it, I can see clearly through it so that I can accurately position it where I need, so that I'm only looking at the portion of the problem that's important to me. Now I can focus a little bit better, and when I'm done with this, I simply click the X to remove it. The final tool that we have on the top here is your reference sheet. This is the standard reference sheet that comes with all standardized tests in Pennsylvania, and you've most likely seen this before. It can also be moved or repositioned so that it's not covering up the problem that you're looking at. When I'm done referencing my formulas, I choose the X in the corner to get rid of it. Now that I've completed my test, I can double check all of my questions to make sure that they've been answered. I can resolve any flags that I've listed for later. And when I go to submit the test, you can see that it'll list anything that is an unanswered question or a flagged question that I can go back to, or I can finally submit my test. When I'm completed, I submit my test. Please know that once this has been submitted, you cannot go back to fix it later or review any of your questions.